I don't think that you really even have to be good at typography to make good typography. A thing I learned from 37 Signals, now Basecamp, if you focus on really simple hierarchy decisions and then you kind of ignore what it looks like, you'll probably end up making something that looks good. If you make those sort of communications-based decisions, you will make stuff that's more visual because some things will be bigger and some things will be smaller. You'll cluster some information together and you'll put something else somewhere far away from it. And basically, you'll be constantly indicating this information is similar to this information is different than this information, and this text is more important than this text. And if you focus on that stuff, you might not make the most sophisticated, nuanced work ever, but you'll make very visual work and it will be good. I think it is the kind of thing that explains why sometimes you can see the most rough kind of amateur work, but it's got a certain charm. Sometimes that charm is coming through in the fact that it's very high contrast and very communication oriented. Now, what I think is interesting is you can take this same logic and I think you can apply it to product design or event design or experiential design. If you focus on not the client, but on the experience that you want the end user to have, or what you want them to walk away with, you'll make better decisions. So I went into experiential work in 2016 and through 2017, but kept getting opportunities with it. And I think one of the things is that there was lots of stuff I didn't know. There was stuff about prototyping, stuff about building code or whatever, stuff about delivery. Like there was a lot of stuff I didn't know. I think the reason that I kept getting opportunities is that the one thing I definitely always focused on was, what did I want the person going through this experience to get out of it? And because of that, I think I made really good decisions, better decisions than what do I want the brand to get out of this? Because the brand should be getting something out of it just by doing the event. I think the difference between a nerdy book that's really high quality and a nerdy book that's chintzy. And if you think about, like, if you go to Barnes and Nobles, they'd have these clearance sale racks, and all the books were so chintzy. Like, there was just something about them. They had no heft, like, intellectually. And I think one of the things is, like, those books were designed just to be sold. They were designed just to try to get something out the door and just kind of push product out there. And I think those books are more about economics. They're more about the publisher. They're more about doing something because you can do it than they are about what do I want the user of this to get out of it. You know, there's these fin signs in Petco that they've changed a bit, but I developed the format back in like 2015, I think. And the thing is, the initial versions of them, like many things, were better than what's in the store because the initial versions were about the customer. The initial versions were, we want to make it easier to shop for dog food. What are the things that normal human beings care about? What's like the most important stuff to them? Let's tell them about that stuff via each brand. And then, of course, what happened is that's hard. What's easy is just to ask the brands to tell them what it's about. And then all of a sudden, you're back in crazy promises and you're back into jargon and gibberish. And so what ends up happening is the only useful part of those signs is the fact that there's a logo on it and that helps you identify something. Truth be told, that's useful, but if that was the case, let's scrap all the other crap and just stick to the signs. And I think that's a really good instance of what ends up happening when people go to work for corporations and they lose their goddamn minds. People open businesses and they lose their goddamn minds because they stop thinking like a normal human being. They only think about their own problems. Like, my problem is I want to sell more dog food. Think, okay, cool. The easiest way to do that is to get the customer what they want, right? So get them the information that they want and don't take the easy way out. Because the problem is when you take the easy way out, you fill up the environment with clutter. You do events with too many logos and not enough fun stuff to do. You make informational signage that isn't informational. And what ends up happening is you then make more signage to make up for it. Across the board, when you think about the idea that you always have a user, a reader, a consumer, an audience, whatever it is for a project, and if you think about them, you will make a better product. Pretty much regardless of the quality of it, because at the end of the day, at least you're trying to make something that is as good as possible, even if there's a bunch of information that you don't know about that discipline. All right, thanks a lot for watching.